Hey guys, it is TsubakiSwagg. I'm coming to you with my review of Hunter x Hunter episode 139, Aluka and something. Okay. First off, I want to say that Killua's mom is freaking crazy. Like, she is completely off of her rocker, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. Just want to give you a heads up about that one. Okay. Pretty much this episode picks up where the last one left off at. We learn a lot about Aluka and his/her power. And also a subscriber pointed out to me that Aluka is actually a boy, but Aluka likes to identify himself as a girl, which is why Killua is literally the only one who calls him a her. Because everybody else in the family says that they have 5 brothers. But Killua, of course, he refers to Kaluto and Aluka as girls, but they are actually boys. So all of them are actually boys. So just want to throw that out there too. So in this episode, we learn the 5 rules that Illumi and Miluki came up with as far as Aluka's request. Because as we know, Aluka makes requests, and if you can fulfill his or her, I'm just going to call her, when you can fulfill her request, you get a wish granted for you. And depending on how outrageous or not so much your wish is, depends on what the requests are going to be like for the next person. And thus, if you make this like huge wish, like when Miluki asked for the computer, only 2 people died. When the next person asked to be a millionaire, the next person after him, or after, I believe it was a girl, the next person after her, 67 people died. So depending on the severity of your wish depends on the severity of the request. And when you can't fulfill the request, then people die. And it's not even necessarily who you love more, it's who you've spent more time with or anything to that extent. So that was why in most cases only like 2 people died, because it was the person and their significant other. So in that case, with the person, or when the person made the wish for the $1 million, then that was why so many people died, because the wish was so severe that it made the request pretty much undoable or incompletable. So in that, Aluka's power is actually pretty freaking awesome. But the downside of Aluka's power is she is still technically just a little kid, so she has like no fighting skills whatsoever. But also, with Aluka's wishes, she can't make a request to you if she doesn't know your name. And there's a lot of other different things. If you watch the episode, you know exactly what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to run all the way through them again. But Killua seems to be the only exception to this rule. Because Killua, well, I want to say it, but I can't, because it's in the manga, but it's not in the anime yet, so I'm going to stop talking right there. So Killua is an exception to this rule. And Killua is the only one out of the whole Zoldyck family that actually treats Aluka as a person and not a thing or something that was never supposed to be brought into this world. Killua actually considers Aluka his little sister. So that's why Aluka is so fond of Killua, but Killua wasn't able to be around Aluka because they literally had Aluka under lock and key. Like, it's probably like how the Pentagon is, where it's like miles below the ground. So Aluka has not had much experience. Once they figured out what her power was, they pretty much cut her off from the rest of the world. So, and it was also pointed out that the only reason why Aluka hasn't made any requests to her mother or her father was because Miluki set it up so that way a servant would come into the room and Aluka would make a request to the servant, and then he would send her to go see her parents, so that way she couldn't make any requests of them. Which is pretty smart, but it sucks for the butlers, because they treat the butlers like crap. In this, like, in their household, they treat the butlers like crap, because they can't really, like, literally can't do anything. So, I mean, I guess that's neither here nor there. So, Killua, he goes into the room and he receives some requests from Aluka. In the first one, if you weren't paying close attention, you would think that Killua really did die, because Aluka pretty much said Killua die, and Killua's like head disappeared. And I was very happy that we got to see Hisoka, because Hisoka is probably one of my favorite characters in this whole show, like as a whole. So while all this was happening, Illumi and Hisoka were talking about like different rules and why all these different things happen because of Aluka's request and blah blah blah. So, and Illumi is very conceited, because he said that if Killua set it up the way he thinks he's going to, where somebody else makes the wish to save Gon, then all of these Oldic family will die. But Illumi was thinking that instead of it being Killua and Gon who dies, because if Killua gets somebody else to make the wish, or if Killua makes the wish and then can't fulfill the request, then Gon, because Gon is probably the person closest to Killua, Gon will die in turn, even though he just got healed. So that kind of sucks. But Illumi was thinking that it was going to be him. I honestly don't think that Illumi's anywhere in that list of people that Killua is close to. But maybe that's just me. But Illumi is slow, and even Hisoka called him on it. Hisoka told Illumi that even though Hisoka has issues, Illumi is just as bad, which is very true. So during all of this, Killua sets it up. He pretty much tells, after he fulfills all of the requests of Aluka, Killua tells his father to let him out, and his dad was like, no. So Killua decided to make his wish be, if they're not off the mountain in 30 minutes, to kill their mother, and if they're off the mountain in 30 minutes, then Aluka has to give him a kiss on the cheek. And Killua's mom, oh my god, she is so freaking crazy. Like, she was like, oh, he's grown up so much. I'm like, if I was the mom, I would have been freaking out. But Killua's mom was just happy that he was sacrificing her life. What the heck? No, who does that? She's crazy. She's off her rocker. So after all of that, they leave the mountain, and we see like Killua was saying that he has his own specific set of rules that nobody else in the family knows about, because Killua is an exception to those rules. So he is determined that he is going to save Aluka, and he's going to save Gon. So that was part of the reason why he took Aluka off the mountain. But things are about to get real interesting, and I already know what's going to happen. I only know up to a certain point, because I was told to stop reading the manga, because I was going to spoil myself later on to some awesome stuff. So that's neither here nor there. So I can't wait to see what happens in the next episodes, because things are about to get really, really good. So as always, I would love to hear what you guys think is going to be coming up soon. But please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.